That's right. You can yell, you can scream, you can protest. Scream for your lives. White supremacy is on the march and is thoroughly unconcerned about your pain and misery because it came here for the purposes of inflicting pain and misery on you. That is what it does. Week after week now, video after video, because you were under the ridiculous impression that if you started recording these things, that alone was going to fix the problem. That was what you thought was going to happen. You thought that the only missing link was if you could just record it, then everything would be okay. And now you're finding out to your dismay that it doesn't work that way. That when you've got the power and the wealth and the influence, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many witnesses you got, how many cameras you got. It just doesn't matter. Because this is not a matter of who's got cameras and who's got witnesses. This is a matter of who's got the power, wealth, and influence. Because you see the ability of the police and their backers, the foundation of all white supremacy, is their economy. And you didn't know that, but you're finding it out now, aren't you? You're figuring that out now. I guess some of you need a reminder. Just 2 weeks ago, did you remember this? Just 2 weeks ago.
You play your hard way for what? Every time you see me, you want to mess with me. I'm tired of it. It stops today.
This guy right here is forcibly trying to lock somebody up for breaking up a fight.
Everybody standing here, they told you I didn't do nothing. I did not sell nothing. Because every time you see me, you want to harass me, you want to stop me, so I'm so sick of it. I'm minding my business, officer. I'm minding my business. Please just leave me alone. I told you the last time. Please just leave me alone. Please don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Hold on.
Listen, don't touch me, please. Do not touch me.
Put your hand behind your back.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Now, first Eric Garner, now this. One black male, one black female. Are you starting to... Well, okay, there are a lot of you, you just will not get it. You're just not gonna get it. I guess that's the best that we can hope for, because you're just not concerned, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Can we try it again?
911, do you need police, fire, medical?
Maybe both. I'm not sure. There's just someone screaming outside.
Hey, what's the address that they're near? Okay, and is it a male or female?
It sounds like a male.
And you don't know why?
I don't know why. I think they're yelling help, but I don't know. Just send someone quick. Please stop.
Okay. Does he look hurt to you?
I can't see him. I don't want to go out there. I don't know what's going on. So they're sending him.
So you think he's yelling help?
Yes.
Alright, what is your phone number?
Just, there's gunshots.
You just heard gunshots?
Yes.
How many?
There's one. Jimmy, get down. No, come here.
Is he no longer yelling?
In reverse order, that last bit of audio you heard was the 911 call where George Zimmerman murdered a 17-year-old unarmed black child named Trayvon Martin. That was 2 years ago. The second piece of audio that I played was Eric Garner, unarmed black male, murdered by the New York Police Department 2 weeks ago. The first bit of audio that I played was Denise Stewart, 48 years old. And what happened to her happened on July 13th. Now, she's alive. She's alive. Unlike the two black males, she's still alive. They yanked her ass out of her apartment naked. Now, here's the killing thing about it. The police were responding to a 911 call, but it wasn't her apartment. They went to the wrong apartment and said, oh, well, we're here. Let's arrest your ass. You see, you thought the problem was that you had to commit a crime. And for all of you hoes and sluts, and I'm calling you what you are, who consider yourselves allies with the white police terrorist state. Because you see, she's a big fat bloated beast. If you take a look at it. And you tell yourselves these are the kind of folk who'll sit up here and will have no problem whatsoever calling the police on your baby daddy. Now they'll do that in a heartbeat. No apologies, no nothing. Yeah, we'll be as ruthless as we want to be. I got my white friends here to keep you in line, nigga. Now the police are putting hands on you, and all of a sudden now we are all supposed to transform. You see, for those of you females out there talking about street harassment because you have severe daddy-hating issues, and you're mad because your mama was a slut and you don't have your mama sitting there, so you just aim your anger at the only person who's not there, even though you didn't ask any questions. Yeah, you're gonna sit here now and beg for mercy. Brothers and sisters, you cannot empower a beast. You cannot sharpen his fangs. You cannot sharpen his claws. And then tell yourself that he's gonna eat everybody else except me. He won't eat me now. He'll leave me alone. Now, what I want to know tonight is, where are the black feminists? I want to know tonight, where are you so-called black feminists? I want to know where Sharing Ball is tonight. Where is Miss Sharing Butterball? I want to know where Sherry Shepherd is. I want to know where Oprah Winfrey is. Can somebody find Oprah? Because Oprah's going to have a hell of a dilemma. Who does she support? Her black sisters or her white daddy? That's going to be a tough choice for a bed wench to make. That is the definition of a dilemma. Where are all the Negro bed wenches from around the world? Where is Madame Noir magazine to talk about white supremacy and to talk about the evils of the police now? Where are they? Where's everybody's favorite bedwench Cola Booth? Where's she at? Where's she hanging out? Somebody tell me where she's hiding out at tonight. So many of you have been living in denial and delusion. And you have told yourselves that the white supremacist structure is your friend and your buddy and your ally. And can I just be blunt tonight? Can I just be brutally frank? Brothers and sisters, and especially sisters, there are so many of you black females who have enabled this beast because you work in the police departments and you've done nothing to disarm it. You work in the courthouses and you have done nothing to disarm it. So many of you as black females have become the willing, willful, desirous bedwenches and handmaidens of white supremacy. And now that white supremacy is turning its fangs on you because you thought that if you sold black men out, that would carve you out a favored status among white supremacy, and now you're finding out that white supremacy is doing to you, the black female collaborators, exactly what they did in Nazi Germany to the Jewish collaborators. White supremacy does not seek your collaboration. White supremacy seeks your annihilation. And you're trying to figure out some way that you can approach the 21st century and not face that. And you want someone to tell you that these kinds of things will not happen, and that white daddy is your buddy. You single mothers out there, you've got all these bastard babies because you are emotionally deficient, and you figured that sucking white daddy's toes, that you can get the welfare and the food stamps and the Section 8. And ain't no Negro gonna tell you nothing. Do you notice what she was saying when all of the white friends of the white supremacist structure showed up at her door to dispense some unjustified brutality? Do you know what she said? I can't breathe. I've got asthma. I'm naked out here. Now, if you'll all remember, this microphone warned you. We warned you that what they were going to do was kill the men and rape the women. I told Gwendolyn on this phone, don't you understand that first they're gonna kill the black men, and the next step is the rape and subjugation of the black women? Well, now they've taken your black ass, ripped you naked in the middle of the hallway, and what can you do about it? What can you do? Don't you know that that was sexual degradation? Don't you know that was Hottentot Venus? Was that any different from what they did to the black females on the slave auctions? Was that any different from what Nazi Germany did to the Jews as they got off the cattle cars? They stripped you naked. They bound you, and then they just left you there. Being naked does not bother them. Destroying your dignity is job number one. But remember, White Daddy is your friend and your buddy. Just remember that. For all you black feminists out there, for all you hood rats and sluts who have been blaming your life of problems, your life of shortcomings, you've blamed it on every black male, and you've been out there collaborating. You've been collaborating with white supremacy. You've been empowering the police state because black men routinely work against the police state. Unfortunately, many black women work for the police state. And now the New York Police Department has shown you that this is the era of no mercy. Now, black females around the country are going to begin to scream and protest. Now they're going to demand that black men swing down from the heavens and save them. You have raised your boys to be weak, effeminate, effete. Look it up. You've raised your boys to be weak and malleable because in your emotional inferiority complex, you desired males who would be emotionally weak so that you could control them and make sure that they never stop dispensing affection to your undeserving ass. And that's what you've got now. You've raised sons incapable of protecting you. When the police rip their mother's clothes off of them, he stands there with his cell phone camera. Stop doing my mama like that. A hallway full of black folk. But did you notice what you didn't see? Can someone tell me where your thugs were? Anybody? Can somebody tell me where your strong, independent black women were? They were saying a lot of things out there. Did you hear them all? They were saying a lot of things in that hallway. But did you notice what they weren't saying? She wasn't saying, I don't need no man. I can do this by myself. I can do it all by myself. Tell me where Miss Strong and Independent was. I'm asking these questions because black women today as a group, you have betrayed black men to the white supremacist system. You have collaborated with it. As a group, black women have become collaborators, and I am telling you now that this will have permanent scars and there will be permanent grudges because black females today as a group have thrown in their lot with white supremacy, thinking that there's some temporary negress trinkets in the offing, that maybe there were a few negress trinkets that they could get their hands on, a few Negro bed wench gifts that they could carve out for themselves. And that you will run to white supremacy when you want power, but when white supremacy turns on you, you'll run back to black men and seek our protection? No. The answer is no. Tonight is time for some tough love. The answer is no. You built this beast. You engendered it. You constructed it. You empowered it. You nourished it. You did everything you could to make this monster as powerful as it is today. And now you are going to scream and caterwaul to black men? You're going to come to us now and beg for salvation? You delivered the men to the beast? And then told yourselves that you would be spared? If I betray the men, then I will be spared. And you think that someone like that is deserving of rescue? You think you deserve to be rescued? After 6 decades of saying that we're not black first, we're women first? Why don't you go call your white friends? Go call your white buddies. Tell them that you need help. Those are your new friends. Go tell them. Go tell those white women what white men did to you, and then get them to bail you out. That's my answer. Those are your new pals? Those are your new friends? You can turn your ass up at black men. I got my Section 8 and my WIC and my food stamps. I'm straight. I don't need you. Then get out there and go deal with them. Get on over there and go show them just how strong and independent you are now. Because you told yourselves that this day would never come. You told yourselves that the day would never come that the dog that you fed and you helped him get permission to be ferocious on black men, you told yourselves that he would never turn and bite you, and now he's turning and ripping you to shreds. But I don't want to hear a single word from anybody. You cannot demand protection from someone that you have been undermining. If you cannot show where you have supported us, you cannot demand our protection. And what you found out was that you can't get white men to protect you from other white men. That's not gonna happen. You're not going to get white men to protect you from other white men. And you are trying to fool us into thinking that you are deserving of protection at this point. I want that audio and that video to serve as a warning and a cautionary tale to every black female in America and around the world that you've played a game. For the last 6 decades, you have played a game. And the game that you played was that I will get power for myself, even if it's at the expense of black men. I'll get power for myself. I'm not a black woman, but I'm not white, so I'm a third category. And what I'm saying is that for all you third category people, go save yourselves now. Go show us that you're strong and independent now. You built white supremacy as a beast in the black community. You destroyed the black family by taking the 30 pieces of silver, trying to deal with your emotional issues, not even dealing with them. You let them give you emotional issues, and you destroyed the black family in your pathetic, disgusting attempts to self-medicate. You let them in. And you didn't just let them in, you told them that my house is your house now. I will assist you. I will assist you in destroying the black family and the black community. Because you see, white supremacy's power is in its economy. Black men built the black economy. And American black women as a group destroyed it. And told white supremacy, we will help you destroy the black economy if you will give us 30 minutes a night as your bed wench. And he said, fine, sold. Here's the Section 8. Here's the food stamps. Here's the WIC. Here's the welfare. Here's the SSI. Here's the disability. Now get in there and destroy your community. And they did it. 6 decades. Every time you see a black female talking about her food stamps, understand she is showing you her 30 pieces of silver that bought her soul. Every time you see a black female with her WIC voucher, she is showing you her 30 pieces of silver. Every time you see a black female with her Section 8 voucher, she is showing you her 30 pieces of silver. And she is saying, I will gladly destroy the black community. I will give white supremacy a toehold. White supremacy did not have power before, but I will give it that power. I will give white supremacy the power they did not originally have. I'll do it. Every dollar that you take from white supremacy empowers them. Because as Dr. Umar Johnson said in our excerpt from 7 a.m. that you can see on my YouTube channel, Dr. Umar Johnson, The Art of War, as he said, the hand that pays is also the hand that rules. And when black women decided that they would destroy the black home, that they would trade in the black man for a welfare check and food stamps, that was betrayal of all of black society, and that was what got us where we are today. White supremacy said, I will be the breadwinner. You just get that protector and provider away from you, so that you have no defense. And they said, yes, massa, we'll do that. And they sold us all down the river. And now, in the words of the Crosby, Stills, and Nash song, it's been a long time coming. Been a long time coming now. But white supremacy is showing you what they really think of you. You thought that this was going to be a power grab. And what you're learning is that you have no power independent of your man. Because no war in history was ever won by an army of females. And white society is led by its males, as are every other society on earth. And they will pay you, which is what that welfare and the WIC and the food stamps were, you dumbass. They will pay you to walk out into battle against them unprotected. They have paid black women to walk out onto the battlefield with nothing but women and children going up against an army of Aryan men. How's that working out so far for you? How's that going for you now? Black women, white supremacy is coming for you now. Because as their numbers, as I mentioned last time in the broadcast before that, as white supremacy's numbers get smaller and smaller numerically, they are now going to have to be more brutal and more vicious physically. They are going to have to be more brutal economically. And their economy is the chief means by which they are going to destroy you. And all they need is for you to take those few dollars, your 30 pieces of silver, and once you do that, he's got you. Once you do it, you're his now. Because you don't provide your own house. You don't provide that. He does. You don't provide the food on your table. He does. You don't take care of your children. The WIC voucher that he gave you does. And now that he is the provider, guess what? He is the protector. Let me explain something to you younger black females who are following in your grandmammy and your hoish mammy's footsteps, and I'm telling you what they are. You cannot demand protection from that which you have contributed no loyalty. You cannot demand the king's protection when you have not pledged your loyalty to the king, and pledging your loyalty is not lip service. Black females, let me tell you how you pledge your loyalty to black males. Let me tell you. The way that you pledge your loyalty is by keeping your mouth closed. That attitude problem you got. Because you do not snap at the king that you've pledged your loyalty to. You show your loyalty by keeping your drawers and your vagina out of every stray alley you come across. Because you cannot pledge loyalty to a king when the court jester and all the clowns have already slept with you. You do not bring the king Pookie and Ray Ray's leftovers. You bring the king the choice cuts. You bring the king the finest slices. You bring him the very best. You don't bring a king the damn leftovers. You show your loyalty to the king by demonstrating to black males that you are wife material. And that means that your mind is straight, ambitious, and virtuous. Your spirit is austere, honorable, virtuous. That your body is clean and undefiled. The tattoos, you've brought us leftovers. You've totaled out the car and told us how much that we should pay top dollar for it. You're 60 pounds overweight and telling us that this is thick, not fat. You got gold teeth. Gold hair extensions. So telling me that you want my children to look nothing like me. That's how you would dare to approach a king. But you want the king's protection. You show your loyalty to black men by showing the black man that you're trying to talk to that you don't just let any black male walk up in your face. You show the black male that you value him by showing him how much you value yourself. You show your loyalty to black men by showing them that you are the best within womanhood. This man, you show your loyalty to black men by showing black men that as a black woman, you will not give the time of day to a black man who's not building something, and he must present you with proof that he is building. Half of dating age black women today got babies by Negroes who ain't worth nothing. He doesn't even have a job, much less have a business. And yet she wants the protection of the kings of black society. She has allowed herself to be the bed wench of the dogs. And now the females who have slept with the dogs are now coming to the kings and saying, do you want the dogs' leftovers? We are no longer even being presented with the jester's leftovers. Black males today are being presented with the dog's leftovers. That's what we're being presented with today. And then being told that we should be thankful for the vomit that the dogs just spat out. That we should fight and put our lives on the line to defend and protect that which even the dogs would not eat. You have watched video after video of black women being brutalized by the white supremacist structure, and black men are standing there, and the reason that they're standing there is because we now have 3 generations, 72% of your children have been taught that white people are their daddy. And a child does not raise his hand to his father. And black women as a group, for the last 3 generations, have taught their children that white supremacy is their father. And now, this third generation of tattoo covered, fat, sloppy, overweight, smelly, unhygienic, tattoo encrusted, gold weave shrouded, bastard baby carrying, profane and disrespectful, obtuse, unforgivable morass of slum females are now, they passed by Pookie and Ray Ray. They're not going to Pookie and Ray Ray and demanding anything. They are coming to the Black channel. They are coming to the Black authority. They are coming to intelligent Black society, and they are now begging for our protection. And I am here to say to you that you gave white supremacy entrance into Black society. You gave them permission to roam the Black home. You told white supremacy that there is no Black home anymore, that the Black home is now merely a suburb of white supremacy's empire. You gave them permission. You gave them jurisdiction over Black society. You gave them reign. Now they're coming after you. You stop them. You stop them. Because I can at least show you some Black men who stood up against the police. I can show you some videos of that. You cannot show me one video of one Black female who successfully fought off the police. Not even one. I can show you videos of Black males who've done it. Hell, Tupac Shakur did it. You haven't got one video, one story, one anything of a Black female who has done it. Black women, you must qualify for the protection of Black men. Black men, you are not born with the right to a Black female. You have to earn that right. And Black women, you are not born with the right to Black males' protection. The protection of Black men is a privilege. It is a privilege that you must qualify for. You must qualify for the protection of Black men. And when you say that you are going to help white women to promote street harassment laws, not against white men, but specifically because you want to get power over Black males, you just enabled the beast not to go after us. You just enabled the beast to go after you. When you raise your voice to a Black male, this is you're going to want him to be the king when the white men put their hands on you, but you're going to raise your voice to the king. Okay, I'm safe from the white men now. Now I can go back to acting a fool. That's what you think is going to occur. And I am saying to every Black male in the sound of my voice, the answer is no. The answer is no. It is time for Black women to step up. That's right. You haven't heard that anywhere else. It is time for Black women to step up. It's time for black women to show that they are worthy of a black man to put his life on the line, which is what he will be doing. It is time for black women to step up to the plate. They love saying that so much. Well, ladies, it's time for you to step up. It is time for you to step up and show that you are worthy of black men's protection. Because you can't stop any of these things, but we can. However, you are going to have to demonstrate to us that you're worthy of this. Because what I see outside my window, not on the internet, not on TV, what we see at Walmart and Target, at school, at college, at the mall, walking down the street. What we see is not worthy of our sacrifices. You're coming to the Kings with 3 and 4 babies falling off of you with a mouth profane and telling us what you're not gonna do. And as soon as your white friends who give you your welfare and your food stamps slap their hands on you, all of a sudden, now you want to appeal to black men for black solidarity. But when the black man came to you and said that I must be acknowledged as the head of household, you said, why can't we both be head of household? Well, then in that case, when the police start whipping on your ass, why don't you show me how you stop him? If we're both qualified to run the house, then we're both qualified to stop the police from brutalizing your ass. Now get over there and get to doing it. What you looking at me for? Because before he showed up, you were telling me about how strong and independent you are. You cannot have it both ways. The Bible says you cannot serve 2 masters. You'll love the one and hate the other, or cling to the one and despise the other. But you will not be able to serve both. So will you serve white supremacy or will you serve black empowerment? It's just that simple. There is no in between. There is no third category. Black women did not understand that by betraying black society and taking the public assistance that you became public prisoners. And now here you are 6 decades later with white supremacy's population lower than it's ever been in our lifetimes, and you are more helpless than you've ever been. And you should see them out there right now. They are screaming and caterwauling, yelling and pleading, where are the black men to save us? And what I'm going to say tonight, brothers around the world, what I'm going to say tonight is get your paper right. Get your economy together. Get your finances straight. Gain that empowerment for yourself. Because power for a man is power, wealth, and influence, and it starts with dollars. You get your money together. You get your entrepreneurship game rock solid so that you do not have to depend on the white supremacist structure. And then you find a black female who is worthy of your work and your sacrifices. But don't you lift a damn finger for the hood rats, whores, and sluts who run their mouths every day and shake their necks around and roll their eyes and roll their necks. They slept with half the damn block. and they've tried to sleep with the other half, and then coming to you, trying to tell you what you owe them? No. If your priority was having loyalty to Pookie and Ray Ray, you are a member of the kingdom of Pookie and Ray Ray. Let Pookie and Ray Ray save your ass. If you got a Section 8 voucher, you are a member of the kingdom of white supremacy. If you take food stamps, that is a bribe. That is a legal bribe from white supremacy. Oh yeah, I'm calling it exactly what it is. That is a legal bribe from white supremacy. And you have taken the bribe. And if you desire to lick and eat and be fed at the hand of white supremacy, then that is your master. Look for mercy from him. Look for salvation from him. Look for protection from him. The white supremacist police state is not going to get easier. Go ahead and show us all the black females who love to talk about their educations. Somebody tell me how your schooling protected this woman from getting her head ramshackled by the police in California. Show me how your school, I'm going to school for cosmetology. Ask Miss Denise Stewart, 48 years old, how well her schooling helped her out. Ask her. You see, this is what upsets people, is because I speak the language of black empowerment. There are no black women who are offended by what I've said tonight because they understand that united we stand, or united we fall and perish. We will stand together or we will die together. That is just the way it's going to be. But you cannot have one part of the team. Black men get no benefits from white supremacy whatsoever. None. Black men receive no benefits from white supremacy. There's no welfare for us. There's no food stamps for us. We have babies we can't afford. The system comes with handcuffs. A black woman has babies she can't afford. They come to her with a social worker. And usually that social worker tells her what to do to get the black male put in jail. They have a conveyor belt, a fast track. Takes you right there. But that's okay as long as they're giving you what you want. Until the day that they don't, and that's not gonna fly, not anymore. The civil rights generation of black males were weak and cowardly. Gutless. That's not us. Black men's protection is available, but there is no black man who is going to provide protection to a black female who has not demonstrated her loyalty to black men. White supremacy gave you social programs. A black male's protection is not a social program. You cannot get our protection like you get the welfare. I showed up, give it to me. No, that's not going to happen. As black women, you are in a hell of a bind right now. And this is going to have to begin with a reconciliation. Nobody else is talking about this tonight because nobody else really has the courage to talk about what the problem is. There needs to be a reconciliation in black society, but But black men cannot reconcile with a woman who is on the side of white supremacy. And what that means is that you must first pledge your allegiance and your loyalty to black manhood. Once we have your allegiance and your loyalty, now we know what it is that we're working for and fighting to protect. Once the man has your loyalty, now he knows what he's putting his life on the line for. But you cannot demand the king's protection when you do not approach the king as a queen. And there ain't no queen who slept with half of Brooklyn talking about, well, that was my past. There ain't no queen covered in tattoos because a queen's body is supposed to be sacred. A queen's body is supposed to be undefiled. A queen's body is supposed to represent purity and virtue, to remind that man why you're there, and more importantly, why he is there with you. That is what the queen is supposed to do. The queen does not raise her voice to the king. The queen does not attempt to tell the king what he's going to do. She sits and she counsels. A queen is not going to attempt to dictate to the king. That's not going to occur. A queen does not go around with ridiculous, oafish hairstyles. She is supposed to embody what the people are. And we are Africans, which means that every black woman is supposed to embody our Africanness. And that is not happening. As black men, brothers, your obligation is to get your finances together. Stop this nonsense of talking about, I got knowledge, I got knowledge. We got a million Negroes who can talk about pyramids all damn day. They can tell you the size, they can tell you the scope, they can tell you the base, they can tell you the measurements, brick by brick, slab by slab. But they can't tell you how to build a pyramid today. They just want you to sit and intellectually masturbate. As I said earlier this week, knowledge is worthless if it's not actionable. If it's not practical, if it cannot be put into action, then your knowledge is worthless. And in my world, if your knowledge cannot be put into action to generate power, wealth, and influence, it is worthless. And when I say put it in action, I mean I expect you to show me right now, not tell me about no theories. You show me right now, how does it generate power, wealth, and influence right this second? And if you can't show me, get the hell out. Your knowledge is worthless. And most black males today, you specialize in worthless knowledge. Why? Because you are weak. You are weak and you have not been required to build anything because white supremacy has taken over the job of taking care of your women and your children. That is why you haven't done it. That's why you haven't taken on the job of doing that. To the females out there listening, understand this and understand this well. There is no such thing as a female who is so strong that she can tell her man what to do. Once you get to the point that you can start dictating things to your man, you don't need to have a man. because you do not appreciate what a man's purpose is. And as black men, you are supposed to be cultivating power, wealth, and influence. That serves as the incentive. Because understand something, brothers, we cannot punish unruly females with a power that you do not have. White men have the power to reward and punish. Don't believe me? Walk into any courthouse. Walk into any corporation. Walk into any institution of higher learning or the media. White men have the power to reward or punish their women. And if you notice, white women flock, but they flock to black men who have the ability to reward them. And he who has the ability to reward also possesses the ability to punish. And as black men, we can yell all day about what the women are not doing, but we cannot fight white supremacy with an alternative that we have not built. And if we don't build an alternative, we have nothing to go into battle with, and eventually even the respectable black females will have nowhere to go. We as black males cannot influence our women with a power that we do not possess. You've got to get power, wealth, and influence before you can exercise and exert power, wealth, and influence. You gotta get it first. You can't fight Negro bed wenches on a plantation and you ain't even got a house. Maybe you don't have a plantation, but you better damn well have a house. Otherwise, even the otherwise decent women that you would hope to save, you got nowhere to take them. You've got nowhere to take them. Black men have perfected the art of selling fairy tales. We perfected the art of selling pipe dreams, of telling people a bunch of mess. We perfected the art of doing that. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Black men, you've got to get over your cowardice. As males, you were not born to be cowardly. You were born to exert yourself. It is in your blood. It is in your DNA. It is engraved and etched on your very soul. But you're looking at white men who are building power, wealth, and influence, and you are sitting around waiting for them to break you off a piece of their power, wealth, and influence. And you think that you are going to be able to dictate and lead black women? That white men will gain power, white men will gain wealth, white men will gain influence, and you will take the power and the wealth and the influence that you got from white men and expect that to gain power over black women. It doesn't work that way, brothers. The women do not deserve our protection, but the men are not worthy of their loyalty at this point. And that is everyone's responsibility. Now, here's the big difference. Did you notice that I didn't say, brothers, get your power, wealth, and influence together after the females show some loyalty? No, you get your power and your wealth and your influence together now, regardless of what the females are doing. As a male, it is your obligation as well as your prerogative to do so. You are supposed to have power, wealth, and influence regardless of what the females are doing. It is cowardly and unmanly for you to sit up here and complain about what the women are doing, and yet you produce nothing for yourself. You presented them no alternative, but you are complaining that they are not showing allegiance to your alternative. Damn that. That's childish and ignorant. And so many of you as black males have been raised by black females. You've been raised by black females, and that is why you are responding to life situations as a female. You're begging. You're pleading. You're whining. That's where all these black males who troll and people following the fraud and acting like that, that's what happens when the worst kinds of females raise a black male. They become effete. They become immature females. Not even mature females. They become immature ones. That's what happens to you. And as men, you gain value and you justify your existence in this world by what you've built. You justify your existence in this world by what you have created, by the power, wealth, and influence that you have gained. Yes, I'm saying it to you tonight that your mothers lied to you and your fathers lied to you too. If they told you that your purpose was not power, wealth, and influence, they have lied. Because that is a lie that white supremacy passed to them to keep them intellectually in bondage. We don't need chains. When you teach somebody that they are not meant to have power, then you can exercise power over them forevermore. I don't need chains anymore. I've gotten you to accept your second-class citizenship with a smile on your face. As females, you are supposed to be cultivating all the things that I've mentioned during this broadcast. It doesn't matter if you ain't had a date since 1985. As a female, you are supposed to carry yourself in the manner in which I have described during this broadcast, regardless of what black men are doing. That is your obligation. You have an obligation as black females to carry yourselves and to comport yourselves in the manner in which I've described. You are supposed to behave yourself as if you are worthy of a black man's protection, even if there is no black man around you who will do so. Because the moment that you stop doing that, you are now no longer worthy of your queenship. Has nothing to do with what the men are doing. As a woman, you are supposed to set the example. As a woman, you are supposed to set the example. If every male around you is a Pookie and Ray Ray, you are supposed to walk with your head up in the air. With your head held high like Dr. Betty Shabazz. Like Coretta Scott King. You are supposed to show the example of what black womanhood is supposed to be. From the slum house to the whore house to the White House to the penthouse. You are supposed to be the living, walking embodiment of the black womanhood, as espoused and defined by Africa now for thousands of years. You are supposed to be that no matter what. You are supposed to show everybody that our womanhood is unassailable and unbreakable. That is what you are supposed to do regardless. And what you've been saying is that, well, I ain't gonna show no womanhood because I ain't met nobody worth it. You haven't met anybody who's worth it because you don't have any womanhood. One follows the other. Brothers, loyalty from your women follows power, wealth, and influence. And ladies, power, wealth, and influence from your men follows loyalty. Both sides must uphold their end of the bargain, or it will not happen. And as black men today, I want you to understand what you're seeing. What you're seeing is two parts. The exertion of white supremacy's power and the absence of a black male power alternative. The women have an obligation to show their loyalty to the men. But as men, if the women had that tomorrow morning, which of course is not an overnight process, so of course it's silly to even say that, but as a hypothetical, if the women did have their act together, the men are not prepared to provide said blanket of protection, we must do that. As black women understand, black men are not going to protect you from the brutalities of white supremacy when every other minute you are telling us how much you love white daddy. Black men are not going to extend a blanket of protection when you tell us that white men will protect you. If you are going to say that white men will protect you, it's okay, I don't need you. I got the police and these food stamps. What you just said is white men will protect me. Then if you are going to depend on white men for your protection, do not complain to us as black men when they stop protecting you. Don't come to us complaining about that. To the young black females of today, you have an opportunity. You have a chance to make a different decision, but that will be your choice. That will be your choice. You will make that decision. Black men do not have an obligation beyond our genes to protect somebody who has told us that they don't want our protection. Either you want it or you don't. Either you need it or you don't. Either you accept it or you don't. Either you're in or you're out. For those of you who haven't been with us since the last broadcast, in case you didn't know, I started a Facebook group. It's called the Official Jason Black Group. That is Official Jason Black Group. Since Facebook has been hating on my personal pages, that's fine. But it's the Official Jason Black Group. And I want everybody who's listening to tonight's broadcast, you may have to validate yourself and you may have to qualify. That is, we may need to make sure that you're not trolls. So make sure that you got your message boxes open, because we may ask you to validate yourself before you join. But I want everybody who was on my friends list before Facebook deep sixed it, I want everybody there to make sure they're a part of the group. Now, if more black people were not on Facebook, I wouldn't be concerned about it. But most black folk are on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So until we wean them off of that, we're going to see about that. Until we successfully do. But in the meantime, if you have not been there, I do want you to go there. It's got a new avatar. You'll know it when you see it. And I will start dealing with these people who are trying to make copycat pages. There's another Jason Black page out there that's even using my new profile picture. And there's a bunch of folk who are on that one. Please, people, nobody puts up posts like me. And you know I'm not going to go for no week without putting up something. Nobody puts up the posts that I do talking about the things that I do. But that's why I'm telling you now that if you're not part of the official Jason Black group, send us an invitation. Join up with us. That's where we are. All my Black First people, all my 7 a.m. people, that's where you want to find us at. Because now more than ever, we must be in communication with each other. We've got a bunch of black people out there just doing their own thing, and that does not work. Brothers and sisters, there's one more thing that I would like to touch on here tonight before I leave. No, I'm not taking any phone calls here tonight, but there's one thing I do want to touch on before I go. I want to talk about this idea and this concept of a black code of conduct. A lot of people are saying that we need a black code of conduct, myself included. A lot of people are talking about a black code of conduct. But let me tell you something, people. You cannot have a code of conduct if you do not all have a common system of values. Let me say that one more time in case you didn't understand it. We cannot discuss having a common code of conduct if we do not all have a common code of values. Otherwise, what is this conduct that you want us to have in common? If you cannot define for me what our values are, then how do you define this code? So many people want to talk about a code of conduct, and yet they do not want to discuss what the code of conduct shall be. The Black Channel does that. And the Black Channel is doing it tonight. As black men, the code of conduct is intelligence, not knowledge, intelligence. And intelligence is what you can act on. Knowledge is just what you know. There's a difference. The code is power, wealth, and influence. The code is honorability and decency. The code is civilized behavior. No tattoos, no bastard babies, no welfare checks, no slum gutter behavior. Oh yeah, one more no. No excuses. No hoes. No sluts, no bastard baby makers, no homo thugs, no skinny jeans, no gang paraphernalia that white supremacy gave you, no slum gutter life, no ignorance, no jive talking. We want to see what you built. Don't tell me about what damn me Emotep and Sesostris built 5,000 years ago. You tell me what you are doing today and show me. And after you show me what you built, I want you to show me how you did it. Intelligent black society is the code. Refined, intelligent black womanhood is the code. And if you're a black female who doesn't know what that means, go look at Coretta Scott King and Betty Shabazz. Go look at Attila Shabazz, the daughter of Malcolm X. Those women are the epitome and the quintessential example and archetype of what a black woman is supposed to be. And if your life doesn't look like them, you are off code. Speaking of the code of conduct, if your life isn't like theirs, you are off code. And you are unworthy of black womanhood, much less the protection of black manhood. That's right, we're laying out the code for you tonight. If we can walk through Walmart and I can pass by 2 guys in a row who have seen you naked, you are off code. If you're a black male and you can talk all damn day about your spirituality and you can't tell us one damn word about building our economics and show us how you did it, you're off code and you're worthless. Because you do not value power, wealth, and influence. You are sitting up here yelling about gay marriage and legalizing weed. You're off code. We are supposed to be black first, and that begins with black intelligence, and weed is against that, and that begins with the black family. And only a man and a woman can create a family. That's right, people. This is the code. And you haven't been told that. You have not been told that. But tonight you're being told. And if you want to know why all the other things that you did not work, and that you could be friendly with other people but you did not make any progress, that was because while you're all sitting there tolerating each other, you do not have a common system of values. I can tolerate trash in my living room. Can I entertain guests like that? No. I can tolerate a flat tire. Can I drive to work with it? No. I can tolerate being broke. Can I take control of my life in that situation, in that condition? No. I can tolerate a bastard baby maker next to me. Can I make a wife out of a female whose mindset is trapped in that behavior? No. You can tolerate a broke and dusty Negro who will not work next to you. Can you build an empire and make a father and a leader out of somebody like that? He's emotionally dependent on you, but can you make, what are you going to do when you need to emotionally depend on him? Most black females today seek out weak males because he's emotionally dependent. Yeah, but what are you going to do when you need to lean on the man? Then what? He's leaning on you. What you gonna do when you need to lean on him? You're gonna lay down and die. That's what you're gonna do. Brothers and sisters, we cannot talk about a common code of conduct until we have discussed the common core values. And if you are refusing to discuss a common set of values, a common set of beliefs, a common credo, then you should shut up and stop talking about we need a code of conduct, because I was one of the first people who started talking about that. Dr. Claude Anderson started 20 years ago. I started right after that we needed a code of values. We needed a code of conduct. And I have reintroduced that into the lexicon. But brothers and sisters, I've had people telling me about a code of conduct, and then I've gone to their pages and world star hip hop bastard baby makers and people throwing hot water on each other all over the damn place. Negroes planking and setting each other on fire. Loudmouth profane hoes. But you're telling me about a code of conduct? Really? No, brothers and sisters, that's an oxymoron. If you tell me that we should have a common code of conduct, but then you say, but we don't need a common set of values, now that's a problem. Understand something. The future is going to be black power, red blood, and green dollars. And everybody who does not have that code of conduct, it's going to be a problem. In the black community, we cannot have 40 million special interest groups. Everybody must be on the same page because it is the values that build the code. And it is what you value that builds the code. And it is what we all agree here tonight that builds it. Black women within the sound of my voice tonight, you need to go reconcile with your men. You need to go and apologize to your men. And you must repent. And repent means to turn away from. For those of you who did not know what repent means, repent does not mean to just say you're sorry. Repent means to turn away from the way you have been. And black females, you need to repent to black men. You need to apologize for taking out your emotional deficiency and daddy hate issues on black males. You need to apologize for betraying the black community to white supremacy. You need to apologize for that. And any black female who cannot humble herself and bring herself to do so is not worthy of being in our presence. White supremacy is on the march, sisters. It is as I predicted to you that it would, because I told you that first they were going to shoot the men, and then next there was nothing to prevent them from raping the women in the streets and ripping this black woman's clothes off and leaving her naked on video. They are showing you that we can do it and we will get away with it. White supremacy is on the march. White supremacy is devouring whoever it comes into contact with. It is beating you down, ripping your clothes off, and sexually violating you in the middle of the street, on camera, and in front of the whole world. I'm not going to say that you have a choice to make. Either you've made that choice now or it's over. But there will be no protection and no salvation for you at the hands of men that you have betrayed and scorned. None. And you heard it here tonight first. Once again, if you haven't been to the new Facebook group, the official Jason Black group, definitely go there. And of course, the Twitter is still up. YouTube, definitely this will be uploaded there shortly. They can keep swinging, but they can't break us. And you need to be here for that. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the BlackChannel.net radio. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, brothers and sisters from around the world, remember, black is the future, and the future is uncompromising. And that is on code.